at the Golden Nugget and William Hill in the past 3 years. Top 15 finish in the Westgate Super Contest last year. John, 35, 41, 37.5 points, 4 and 7 on the best bets. And he is using the Colts. How about this? Best bet this week. I like it. Contrarian play on the Colts is the best bet, plus 7.5. John Accorsi's other 6 plays. Texas minus 20. Georgia Southern plus 2 at Coastal Carolina. Minnesota plus 11.5 against Penn State. California minus 14 versus Stanford. Florida plus 13 against Ole Miss. And Auburn plus 2 against Texas A&M. Let's take a look at all the best bets presented by Brooklyn's Best Pizza and Pasta as we wrap up the show tonight. And say thanks to all the guests we've had on the 4-hour show tonight. Nick Bogdanovich of Circus Sports, Scott Spreitzer, Tony Gordon, the Sheriff, Doug Fitz, Chris Massero, Derek Stevens, Al Scalliott, Chuck Edel, Paul Bovey, and Alex White. And here you go, all the best bets presented by Brooklyn's Best. You can see them on the screen. John Accorsi there on Auburn, Paul Bovey, Patriots Dolphins over, Vinny Castillo, Ole Miss, Chuck Edel, UCF West Virginia under, Chris DeBear-Felica, Oklahoma, Steve Fezzik, and 3 others on the Packers. Doug Kazarian, 5 straight best bet winners, and he's on Charlotte. There you go. Let's wrap up the show tonight. Best of luck. Have a winning weekend. This is week 12 of the Circa Friday Football Invitational on the Sports Betting Network.
G-Bank is the official bank of VEASAN. Why? For one, unlike other credit cards, G-Bank does not treat sports betting transactions as a cash advance. And for every eligible gaming transaction, you'll earn a 1% cashback reward. That's right, 1% cashback rewards on every eligible wager. And you'll earn 2% cashback rewards on all other eligible purchases. Apply for the G-Bank Visa Signature Card today at VEASAN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard share their knowledge of sports, gambling, and pop culture on Follow the Money at a New Time.
Like the guy can play football. Yep. And without him, we're talking about this.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face. And posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Mahoning Valley's leader for golf, Milk Creek Golf Course, is now booking tee times for 2024. We offer stay and play opportunities available with 9 area hotel partners. For more information, visit our website at millcreekmetroparks.org. Also, look for new, exciting opportunities coming soon, including an indoor player development center with Trackman, an indoor Callaway Club Fitting Center, and an Odyssey Fitting Studio in 2024. Follow us on Facebook at Milk Creek Golf Course or call 330-740-7112.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Discount Power Sports at 778 North Main Street in Hubbard is hosting a raffle for a 125cc Pentura ATV. Tickets are $30 each, and 100 tickets are available. For each raffle, when those 100 are gone, a winner will be drawn and a new raffle will begin. Tickets can be purchased at any Hubbard home game or at 778 North Main Street or by calling 330-717-44441. $1,500 from each raffle will go toward a scholarship for the Hubbard Youth Coalition. Melodic Live is your home for high school sports. We have all the scores on our social media platforms throughout the games. Enjoy our timely updates from local area schools year-round. You won't get the consistency and reliability from anyone else. Our number one priority is servicing our fans and getting them live news as it's happening. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Melodic_Live. And remember, our fans come first.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192. It's time to kick back and listen to the Sports Page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning Sports Page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in and talk sports. We do it every Saturday morning here, and here is Western Reserve Radio, Dave Clark. A lot to get to in the wonderful world of sports, as we always do talk.
Okay, yep.
There you go. A little glitch.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we were going to just before we were talking about Joel Embiid, who is missing more games now with a knee injury, which basically, I mean, you know, I'm looking at he's 7 foot, he's 280. It just seems like he inherently has ankle knee problems. all his entire career. And I just think because of his size and the fact that his knees and ankles can't take the pounding running up and down a floor, that he will be continuing to have these problems. And he's not going to play 82 games a season.
Right.
He's probably going to give you, at best, Dave Clark 60 games, maybe. And I know he gets criticized. Everybody is just.
But I if I can get that from him, I would be okay with that. You play him. You don't want to play him back to backs. Okay, you might take some of that out. The old famous load management and different things of that nature. If you want him around, but it's going to have to be on both ends. That he definitely needs, and then on the other side, Maxey had called him out in regards to, just working harder. He's got to work harder, get his body in better shape. And I think, you get that shot and see if you can do that. And then see if you could play. And then if you can't, you can't. If it's just something that's hereditary or generative, then it's nothing you can do about it when it's like that. But, it's been many guys that just sometimes, and another thing, some guys are just injury prone and they can't help it what they do, how much
they're talented.
Yeah, they just
can't play.
Yeah.
The injuries. We were right. We were talking earlier. He did not play his first 2 seasons in the NBA. He was drafted in 2014 and he broke a bone in his foot, missing the entire 14 and 15 season. And then the following year, he also missed the entire, because he had a second round of surgery on the right foot, August of 15, and he missed that year. So he actually missed, he was drafted, I remember when he was drafted in 14, because I think the Cavaliers could have drafted him and they did not. They drafted that Bennett out of UNLV, who was really a bust.
Yeah, he was a complete bust.
He was a total bust.
Yep.
And Embiid went third in that draft, and he missed the first 2 seasons. I do remember that because they knew when they drafted him, he was not going to play that season. And then he actually had problems again with the foot and missed the entire following season. So he didn't get on the court until October of 2016.
Yeah. But now, if you remember, because I do remember this part, him having that foot, and I couldn't remember what happened, but you just said broken bone. Now, if you remember when he was a rookie, when he was drafted out of Kansas, they had him listed at 317 pounds. Now, that was on the likes of Shaq type size, but his body is different from Shaq's.
Yeah.
The whole structure is different. If anybody, now that's one person I always talk about all the time, me and my wife, because we seen the guy in person right up next to him. That's some different type of human being that was born in this world, because everything is structured in his body to be that size. He could be that size. It's not like, boy, he got big leg, big feet. Everything is proportional on Shaq's body. That just is a big human being.
Big man.
Joel Embiid, I've seen him when they played the Cavs before. I went and seen him. He's a big guy, but he's not Shaq.
He's not he doesn't have the Shaq body.
No. And what happened is you think right then should have been not that it was a red flag, but for them to say, hey, let's get this guy. He has to get in better physical condition so he don't have issues down the road. And they never, he got down to like 295 and then 290. Big guy, still big. I think he's probably need to be, I remember Shaq saying one time around 270, 260 something and playing, but he would have to get really, and that's when Charles Barkley said, who do you think he is? He's like more like me in my younger days. I didn't want to do anything. And I stayed too big, but he said, I would have never kept playing as long as I did if it wasn't for Moses Malone pulling me inside and said, and Dr. J getting on him about his physical conditioning. And he did reform his body because he was he's near 300 too.
When he came out of Auburn.
Yeah,
Charles,
I think he was only
because he was big at Auburn.
Yes.
And he used to he'd get the ball down low with that body and no one could stop him.
And that was the wrong listing of 6'6". There's no way. He's probably about 6'4". And the guy had all that weight, but he reconditioned that body and he was able to withstand the play. And I always, even when Joel Embiid plays, he's so talented.
Oh, he is.
But he looks like he's lazy sometimes. He just looks like that on the court. But when he is playing at top level, who's going to stop that guy? Inside or out, it doesn't matter. He could jump shoot or he can play down low and you can't stop him.
He almost, last year in the playoffs, he almost beat the Knicks single-handedly on one leg. Because he was injured when he played the Knicks and the Knicks won that series. But Joel Embiid, they could not stop him. And he was on he had one leg. He was hurt. You could see him limping.
Yeah.
But he almost, literally could almost beat, if Joel Embiid was 100% last year or in last year's playoff, they might have been able to beat the Knicks.
Right. Might have been.
But he was not that 100%. He was 50, 60% playing on one leg, and they still gave the Knicks a tough series. Granted, the Knicks won the series, but that goes to show you what Joel Embiid can do with the talent even when he's hurt.
Right.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell. The question will be, how long does he stay out? And that's going to be more talk and ammunition for the people like Mad Dog Russo and Stephen A. will obviously take him to task and be watching Joel Embiid this year. And when he does not play, it seems like Joel Embiid gets a lot more publicity and when he's not playing,
right,
than when he does play. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they're like watching over him, and they like to say, "Well, he's not playing. But that be as it may, it's too early in the NBA season to really, to my book, get real worried about it, because all Philadelphia needs to do is they will get into the playoffs. They just have to have Joel Embiid in a situation where he can play and be effective in the playoffs, because that's really where this lays. I mean, that's why I don't understand why people are just getting so fired up with him not playing in the regular season.
Especially this early.
I
can see if it's later and he's having a conditions
January,
over and over.
February, get in shape for the playoffs, because I don't know, again, in the NBA, it's 82 games. You need to look at it. It's not a sprint, it's the marathon. You've got to look at long term.
Yeah.
And my whole focus with Philly, because Embiid is maybe the most talented, him and the Joker are the two most talented centers in the game. Now, you can argue who's better, but Jokic does play where Embiid does not as much. But the whole point, that's not even relevant. What's relevant is Embiid being healthier, can play in the playoffs down the road, because that's ultimately where this all lies. If they have a healthy or an Embiid, it's like 80, 90% going into the playoffs, Philadelphia is going to be a tough out in the East.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you do. I don't know what the situation is. If it's something just minor. But like I said, it gets big publicity, even if it's a minor thing.
Right.
But if let's say it isn't, let's just say it's a little bit more severe than you think, I keep him out the rest. He would never even come back until January. Now it's November. I'm taking the entire rest of this month.
Yeah.
All of December he's out. And maybe the first week or two of January, I bring him back mid-January, and then I would play him on a reduced minute, type thing, and get him back into shape. So when March start to come, now it's coming down. It's late March, or
now I'm
turning it up, because it's almost playoff time. It's right there, and that's what I would do. But I mean, hey, I'm over here behind this mic. Those guys running a $1 billion organization, so I'm sure they know what to do. But it's sometimes I do, even from our position right where we're at. You got to question some things. I just think, I know that if I'm paying you millions to play, and I can tell that you're not in the best condition that you could be, I got to get on you. I'm paying you money. I'm going to get on you. I'm going to get the best trainers and everything else to get you in the best. I don't care how much you cry about it. You got to get in the best physical condition, or I can't be paying you this type of money. I mean, you just giving away money. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So if you're going to think about it and keep everything going, then you should be in constant care of your guys to get them to where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you break it down, the way the NBA is structured, it's just you have to get yourself ready, the team in a position in the playoffs. Joel Embiid right now is making $51 million.
Right.
And he just signed a big contract extension. So he's on contract through 2028, 2029, where in the last year of the contract, he makes $69 million. He makes $51 million. It goes to $55 million, then to $59, $64, $69. So he gets about, let's just say for the sake of the discussion, the contract's going up $4 to $5 million every year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way it is. And it's all guaranteed.
Yeah. And that's the way they do it in basketball, football. Well, not the guaranteed part all the time.
No, not football.
But the money,
right?
They do it. I always thought it should be in reverse. And somebody might say, what do you mean? I say, like, if the highest part of his contract, if I signed you to a contract right now, I'm giving you your $50 million now. It decreases just as your ability to decreases over the years. I don't expect in year 5, depending on, we're talking basketball now, but let's say football, or you're a running back, or, certain positions taking a lot of punishment. You're big right now while you're in the prime, you're healthy, I'm paying you your money then. And it decreases as it go, because that's when the wear and tear starts to take effect. Why am I paying you more money later on than I would at the beginning?
And I think that's the problem ultimately is that is the way it is, though, in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Money is outrageous, but it is what it is. But
I just think you should.
They go,
all sports
but it always goes right.
It goes up though.
It all goes, and usually, especially the NBA and in baseball, the money goes up. Every year, even though
baseball, that's some monopoly money over there, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know who's got more monopoly money, NBA or baseball. I guess we could actually do a deep dive and then, give you who's got crazier, more monopoly money. What sport? I don't know if it's baseball or
basketball.
Basketball. I think the only problem with baseball, there is no salary cap.
Right.
So the problem you have is you have, Juan Soto has talked with the Dodgers. Now, they're talking, it would be absolutely horrendous for baseball if Juan Soto signs with the Dodgers, because it would be almost like their payroll would be astronomical through the roof. And they would actually have all the best players that they've, basically bought.
Right.
And then you have the problem with baseball. Then you have that team, and then you have like the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you have the other end of the spectrum. And you have two players making more than the entire Pittsburgh Pirate team. Yeah. That's like the Yankees. You take Judge, Stanton, and Cole's contracts, add them up, which come to roughly about $100 million. And that's more than like 4 or 5 teams in baseball. Tampa Bay doesn't, Bay, they don't have a payroll of $100 million. You have 3 players making more than some teams. And the Dodgers are the same way.
And how do you as a fan base really get, some things can happen. We didn't see it. Young teams be like, wow, they're playing great. That's not going to happen all the time. It's not going to happen league wide. So you're just in there to basically line the pockets of those owners, because that's all you're doing, because you're paying these prices for everything to get in the game, concessions, parking, and everything. And your team is going down.
Yeah.
And they're going down because they don't have the talent that these other teams have over the long run, so they're not going anywhere. And that's what makes it not inspiring to watch sometimes, because they're just total mismatches. It's just, like I said, a team will jump up every now and then, and take care of one of those big teams. But how often does that happen? So it's hard. That's why it's sometimes hard to watch. And you get the repetitive same teams like the Dodgers. I mean, right now as we sit here, do you see a reason why they shouldn't be back in the World Series next year?
No,
other than injury. Now you know that can dismantle everything. But if they're healthy, do you see that they shouldn't?
They'll be in the playoffs, guaranteed, almost guaranteed. But then they can navigate their way through the playoffs, and that's where.
And if they add these other guys,
right? Yeah, if they get Juan Soto, it's not going to be right. It's going to be fair.
God. It's just
Juan Soto's looking for probably a 10-year, $700 million contract.
So what teams could offer him that? It's only a couple.
Yankees, Dodgers. They're talking maybe the San Francisco Giants are now in the mix. Maybe Boston.
There you go.
Maybe Philly. And I think after that, I'd have to look. But
it'd be tough after that.
It's tough after that. So that's at least 5 teams you rattle off there. And then the only question, the Mets. That's it.
Yeah.
The Mets are probably, they've got the owner, one of the richest owners, Steve Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
He can write the check for Soto tomorrow like that. He could outbid everybody.
Yeah,
I think he's got one of the deepest pockets in baseball as far as an owner.
Well, you might go ahead and start buying him a team like. Oh my goodness!
Interesting to see, talking about players and salaries, and Daniel Jones is no longer a Giant. They released him yesterday, which comes as no surprise.
He'll have a job.
He will clear waivers.
Yeah, and he's getting picked up immediately.
Rumor has it, one of the rumors was the Cowboys are after him.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt.
Which I don't doubt that at all.
I would do that immediately
because I think if he's released, I think he figures Dallas he's probably better than Cooper Rush. He'll start.
No problem.
Yeah,
I've never seen quarterbacks that don't play. They're backups. That's okay. But a lot of times you get those guys in as a backup, and man, they're ready. They go. Cooper Rush looks worse than he did a couple years ago. Now, the real determining factor is he needs a lot of talent around him.
And he needs a
running game.
And a good line.
Yeah,
and they don't have
a running game.
And a running game. And they don't have that. Dallas has neither.
So he has all these things he needs. And he doesn't have it. He can't flourish.
No, he can't.
At all. So, I mean.
I felt actually watching Dallas play Monday night, I felt bad for him because some of the sacks that he took where they were missed blocks and those like a defensive end, the linebacker went unabated to the quarterback and hit him. And I thought to myself, this poor guy, first of all, the reality is he's not going to last 16. He's not going to last the rest of the season. He's going to be hurt.
Right.
He can't continue to get absolutely.
And he's not elusive to get out of the pocket.
No, he does not have.
But what I was looking at is not even that. He just, when he has the time, he doesn't. I mean, I remember a couple years ago when he had to be in when Dak got that
right. He played good.
He threw the ball with authority. Everything is like floating out there.
Yeah.
He just looked like something happened. Something happened to the arm strength, everything. He doesn't look like the same guy at all. And then you have Trey Lance there who's got a cannon, but his ability to play the NFL game yet is still not there. And it can't be. When you're third team, you're not getting many reps in practice. This is a fact. You're not. You're reading a lot.
Yeah,
you're getting the concepts, but the only way you get better is to play. You got to practice too, but you got to be able to play. He's not going to get better just languishing in that position where he's at.
On the bench, no.
So picking up Daniel Jones would be one of the smartest things to do for the Cowboys, just to savor something, because he's a guy he's already been used to being under duress. So, and then the thing about it, he can get out. And to be honest with you, at times, Dallas' offensive line, at times, is better than the Giants' offensive line in protecting the pass. At times,
you're right.
But he can get out of there.
Yeah,
he can go and make big plays on the run.
Because he's been doing that his whole career with the Giants, so he's so used to it.
Yep.
And he has more.
And he got more weapons.
And he's got athletic ability, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you got, and I could say that only because CD been there for a little bit, but the Giants got up and coming guys at that receiver, Neighbors and Wendell Robinson, those guys are tough. They get them a top flight tight end and then getting that offensive line together.
That's been
the biggest mistake was the guy that's in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They could, that one thing they could still do is run block somewhat. So why not have that guy? Because they do got to find in Tracy.
Tracy's a good player.
They better know they got a guy and don't let this guy go somewhere.
Their problem is with Daniel Jones, and I've never been a real big fan of his, but I will say that they've never really given him a good offensive line. He's got bad habits because he's constantly getting man on fire because the offensive line is so horrible. So he's, it's so hard for him to look off receivers because he doesn't have the time to do that. So, and then they took his best weapon away from him this year in Saquon Barkley. Now they're going, well, he's not playing well. But you took his best player away and the offensive line is still, still a work in progress and not a very good work in progress. So it's almost like if I want to kind of almost want to sit there and say to them, don't you see what you've done is you've set this guy to fail because you took Saquon Barkley away from him. The offensive line is still really a problem. And then you're sitting there yelling and screaming, well, it's all Daniel Jones' fault. Now these morons are saying, well, the Giants need to get another quarterback. And I keep saying to myself, okay, go ahead and get another quarterback. Get Sanders. I don't know if any of these quarterbacks in this draft are going to be good
for their lives.
Right. And so you're going to go get a quarterback. That's not solving the problems, Dable and Shane. And I don't know. And Shane's the GM. What I've seen here, he's screwed up. He's let Barkley go. I mean, I don't understand. Neal has been a bust from Alabama. All right, you get a chance. He's a first round, seventh round, eighth round pick, eighth pick in the draft. The point is, I'm not taking with Shane as the GM. I don't think Dable can coach. No, his record shows otherwise. And here's the other thing. All right, I'm a Giant fan. If you ask me, what do you think the Giants are going to be like next year? They're going to stink. They're not going to be any good. You can get rid of Daniel Jones, but you still don't have a quarterback. And you think one of these rookie quarterbacks is going to come in and save the team. What are you people like? What? What are you smoking? I mean, seriously, you think Sanders is going to come in and rescue the New York Giants? Deion's son is going to come in and rescue the team.
Years at Texas. I don't care who you bring in.
Right.
Because
I don't care.
They got to be protected.
Right. And you got to have a good run game. And you got to have an offensive.
I think you can with Tracy. I really do. But you got to get the offensive line.
You need the offensive line to run block properly. So you need to take pressure off the quarterback.
Yeah.
But I don't care who you get as quarterback. You can get, resurrect Johnny Unitas, rest in peace, from the grave and say, I can go get a guy like a Johnny Unitas to come in here, one of the best, or Joe Montana. No. Joe Montana, a rookie, he couldn't come in and save this team. No quarterback out there is going to save this team. I don't care what they do. Next year, they will be at best 5 wins because the team's not that good. The defense is okay.
Yeah, defense is okay.
But your offensive...
But I don't understand how all these years... I can't say... No, I'll take that back. I was going to say how they haven't addressed the offensive line. Yes, they have. They have addressed it. But it's poor picks, poor scouting. Something's going on because you're picking the wrong guy.
Right.
Or you got them doing something that they're not able to do. They might be good players, but are they playing, as our old saying, round peg, square hole?
Right.
What are you doing? Because these guys, they just don't look right. I mean,
no.
I like when Daniel Jones was at Duke, I just thought smart guy, efficient. I watched him enough to see him when they played Miami, Florida. I would watch those games. I watched him when they played Clemson. He almost single-handedly beat Clemson when they was at the top tier of Clemson, just with his throwing ability and things, but they was giving him protection. And then he was an athlete. He can get out of there when he needed to. I said, this guy would be all right in the pros. He gets there, and they get him. And every year since they had him, it seemed like the offensive line got worse.
Right. Yes.
It actually was better when he was a rookie.
It
got worse.
If you look at his numbers, he had a pretty good rookie season.
It just got worse and worse.
And
even Saquon talked about it.
Yeah.
Look at Saquon's numbers. Great. And then it got bad because there was no blocking. He was getting hit every second.
Right.
He had to make things happen on his own.
Right.
Then he gets injured.
Right. Then he had that ACL.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
against Chicago Bears.
So you look at the things that happened there.
Right.
But there's no excuse for the Saquon Barkley thing because they could have paid him.
Yeah,
you could have paid them the certain.
Yeah,
number.
you could have. Yeah,
he would have signed for that when they was talking about $11 million. He would have signed for that. 3 years, $35 million. And then you could still give Daniels his money.
Yeah, don't insult the Giants. Right. Yeah, that is so. To me, that is total mismanagement. That's incompetency. Why you didn't sign Saquon Barkley shows you how incompetent the New York Giant front office is.
Yeah, that's why he felt, and people were on him. Boy, did he get killed, Saquon.
No,
he was upset because he felt he was disrespected, and he
was. Saturday morning sports page, quarter number 1 in the books. We'll be back after a quick timeout.
Green light, let's get it. Green light, let's get it. Green light, let's get it.
The Mahoning Valley Federals is the area's minor league football team. After only 2 years in existence and an appearance in the league playoff semifinal game, the Federals are looking to add Valley High School and college talent to help take the next step toward a league championship. For more information on how to become part of the Federals' journey, go to Facebook at the Mahoning Valley Federals Developmental Football Team or contact General Manager John Galbraith at 330-540-1099. The Mahoning Valley Federals, honoring the football tradition in the Valley.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Saturday morning sports page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in and talk sports. Do it every Saturday morning here, and here is Western Reserve Radio. Yeah, getting the Giants, like we said, they will take a $22.2 million cap hit for releasing Daniel Jones for 2025, which had he been hurt and he would have got that $23 million injury, then the cap hit would have been $45 million. Right. So it makes sense for the Giants to release him. They're going to take the cap hit, which is a lot easier to take.
Right.
And so they won't have Daniel Jones to kick around anymore. And I still think the Giants are a train wreck, and they're not going to have a very good team anytime real soon. And right. I know they don't want to fire Shane, and they're not going to fire Dable because they already did that They've been going through coaches, starting with Ben McAdoo, then Shermer, and then Joe Judge, and they don't want to fire Dable. And obviously their GM, Gettleman, was not a very good GM. And now Shane, so far, hasn't really impressed me with some of the moves he's made. But I don't see, if you say, well, what do you think the Giants are going to be next year? Probably a 5-win team at best, because until they get the offensive line, now you have no quarterback. I don't know who is going to be playing quarterback next year for the Giants.
Yeah.
Granted, okay, you wanted to move on from Daniel Jones. I think it's probably a good thing in a way, because he probably needed to move on from them as much as they needed to move on from him. So it's kind of a mutual understanding. Okay, great. But that comes back to, okay, now that you got rid of Daniel Jones and you can't kick him around anymore, ultimately, who is going to play quarterback for this team next year? And how good is that team going to be? Because if they don't, again, this offensive line is the broken record of broken records. And we keep beating this dead horse in the drum saying the offensive line, but continue. Teams that with poor line play don't go far and don't win a lot of games in the NFL. That's the reality. And the Giants haven't addressed the offensive line in God knows how long. So I don't care who you roll in at quarterback and running back. But now you look at Saquon Barkley, who has at least has a pretty good line to run behind. And now he's got the Philadelphia Eagles in first place. And now you're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we'll get to San Francisco. Brock Purdy is out, and so is Bosa this week. They're at Green Bay. They lost last week to the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith pretty much putting the team on his back and basically scoring the winning touchdown.
Because
I've
never seen a guy get ripped so bad. But he went to a bad place.
He went to the Jets. We didn't even get to that yet.
He went to a bad place.
But we haven't even talked about the Jets yet.
Yeah.
You talk about another train wreck.
Yeah.
New York, the New York City has got two train wreck teams, the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah. They probably crash each other all the time.
Exactly. All week.
It's bad.
But Geno Smith put the team on the back. Yeah. They were in San Francisco. We picked that game right, by the way. Yep. And not only did, San Francisco not cover, they lost.
Yeah. Yeah. And Seattle, to me, seems to get better. It's almost putting together, McDonald is putting together that team just like they had before in a way. It's getting the defense better. He runs the football. He likes physical runners. He got that. And then he got a quarterback that does what he needs to do and not try to do too much.
No.
That's what Geno does.
When Geno will throw that crappy interception and you want to kill him, and then he turns around a play later, makes a great play or a great run, you're going, that guy's great. Boy, what did he do?
Well, do you know what I like about him? It's like Jameis Winston. It doesn't bother them.
No, it doesn't.
I threw interception, so I don't care about the interception. I'm still going. The thing that Jameis Winston does better than he did at Tampa Bay, he used to think, I can fit every pass in every window. I'll get it in there. Whereas now he's a little selective. He still might make now, I don't fault him that bad on that interception against Pittsburgh.
Oh, no.
He didn't have any footing when he threw it. And you seen the ball just took off.
No, the ball took off. That was,
but other than that,
I
the guy has thrown interception, and it just seems like it doesn't even faze him. He comes back and he's ready to go. And I think that's why those teammates love him. Same way with Geno.
Those players would be absolutely fantastic golfers, because that's what they teach all golfers. You can't have a memory. You have to forget your last shot, your best. You have a bad shot at a bad hole. You got to move. You can't think about it. You got to keep going. You got to think forward. You can't let the bad hole or the last shot bother you, because you've got to keep plugging along.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing those guys have. They've got that mentality of kind of like, they've got that down, that I don't forget the bad shot, forget the bad hole, forget the bad pass, the bad pick. I gotta move forward. I gotta,
he engineered
get it
that
done.
Drive, didn't he?
And he did. That last drive,
straight down the field.
Seattle scored to beat San Francisco. Gino put that drive together. I think he had a really crappy interception in that game. I'm not sure. I have to look it up.
He threw one. Yeah,
he threw one, and you're just
and it looked like it was over, but you looked at the guy go to the sideline. He didn't look like throw my helmet. And no, he just got
Gino
got set. Looked at the iPad. I see what I did wrong. It just goes back
and
in.
He goes back out. And he just takes that team down the field, win the game.
You talking about?
And he ran the ball. I mean, that last drive, he made that run.
He was determined to get in there.
Yeah.
And people think of him as like he's a running quarterback. He's never been a running quarterback, even in college.
No, he never was.
He was always a passer that looks to pass first. And you see that he can run. He just doesn't do it often. Yeah, they got that mentality. I remember an interview I seen years ago, and it was World Be Free. And they asked him about a shot, and he said, "There's not a shot I didn't like, and if I missed it, and it's a shot I don't remember." He doesn't. He didn't. He was right. He didn't care about where he shot from, and whatever happened on his last shot, that guy would put it up. World Be Free. Lloyd Free.
Lloyd Free.
Yeah.
He was with the 76ers when they lost to the Portland Trailblazers in 77. He was on that team with Dr. J and McGinnis. And they went into the 1977 finals favored against the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep.
Won the first 2 games. Lost 3 in Portland. Portland got their, feet, or kind of got their confidence. And then they came back and lost game 6. And that Bill Walton was not Bill Walton's. Actually, I think it was his 3rd year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might have been his 2nd year. Yeah, well, he got out. Bill Walton's last game was 74. So, yeah, it was actually his 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but that's kind of Lloyd B. Free. Like you said, World
B.
did not miss a shot did not
care about it. He didn't.
A shot. He didn't shot. He never, what you were saying. I never met a shot I didn't like. Getting over to some pro games, and then we'll navigate our way to college. We have Ohio State and Indiana noon today at Fox is probably the premier game, and then Army is playing Notre Dame tonight on NBC. Army at Notre Dame. So that's going to be obviously a really big game, and see exactly how good Army is, or, how, I guess, some people are saying Notre Dame, if they don't beat Army, they could be out of the playoff. If they lose to Army, that loss could drive Notre Dame right out of the playoff.
Yeah, I think it could. And this is not a layup.
No. Army
I believe it. It's not a layup.
It could be a very interesting game tonight.
But if Notre Dame can really handle them, and really just, smack them really good, that's going to line them up perfectly. That would line them up. You look at it and say, "Oh, okay," because Army is definitely they play good defense too. So, it's not in that daily.
And then Indiana needs to keep close with Ohio State,
and they can stay in the picture too.
If they lose to Ohio State but keep it close, they'll probably get in, from what experts believe.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they get blown out by the Buckeyes, then they may not get in the final. Where this is going to get dicey with Indiana, and this is what's going to stir the controversy, is what are they going to do with the 3-loss SEC team versus, like, if Indiana gets blown out by the Buckeyes and then you have a 3-loss SEC team like a Georgia, if Georgia loses another game. But the point is you might have an SEC school like a Tennessee or someone else that they're going to argue, should they put them in over Indiana?
Yeah. I think
college is kind of,
it's going to be hard to do with Tennessee, Georgia. That might happen. That could happen.
Because Georgia has by far one of the toughest schedules in all of football.
And then they be right in these games, even though they lost them.
Right.
So it's, you got to look at their resume a little bit differently than you would one of the other teams there. But it's going to be interesting. 12 teams. We'll see 16 in a little bit.
Well, the 16, I think, is going to. I think what you're going to ultimately have is, I think you're going to have 14 this year, 14 next, and then I think they go to 16.
Yeah. Is it or 12? It's 12
It's
now.
12. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I already got it to 14. You're right. Thank you. You got 12.
Yeah.
I think you go 12, 12, 16.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because
I don't think it happened right away.
No. They'll do 2 years with 12. Then I think from there, and then I think they can get, I think they're contractually signed for 2 years at 12.
Okay.
Then after that, they can either renew it at 12 or increase it to 16. What they will probably do is go to 16 because you're seeing all of, this is great for college football because now you've got so many teams competing for the playoff where you didn't years ago. And now they're saying what we said years ago. We should have done this earlier. Yeah, no kidding, you idiots. We were how many, we were beating that drum, for how many years saying
so long ago.
And then you have pity. Well, it's going to take away from the regular season. No, you've enhanced the regular season of anything.
You're not going to mess the bowls up because you just incorporate the bowls.
Incorporate the bowls around the playoffs.
Yeah. And you could actually have, if that's a bowl game, one of those playoff games, it could be that.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Call it.
Yeah, whatever you want to do with it.
Right.
You definitely could navigate around it, especially since you got a mandate of 6 wins to get to a bowl game nowadays. So you definitely can navigate with all these teams, all these colleges. What was 100? How many is 128? 28.
I think.
That. Come on. So you're just talking 12 right now out of that.
Right.
You got enough teams, definitely.
Yeah, you have enough teams
or more to get. And then if you want a high stakes bowl, you got enough of them that didn't make it. Came up short, maybe with 2 losses in a good division. They just couldn't beat out these. Get them in those bowl games. You could have some excellent bowl games. So it's just a bunch of malarkey until, the dollars hit and they see, oh my goodness, look what we made. And then they see it again the next year. And then people will be clamoring for more. Well, my team should have been there. They just missed it. Oh, okay, we know what to do. We look at all this cash we made. We'll go to 16.
Bingo. Right there.
Yep.
Technically, we were close. It's 134 schools.
134.
We were 128. We were only 6 off. So, yeah. Bottom line is, you hit the nail right there. The cash. Yeah. When they see.
After they see it.
The TV, the viewership, and the ratings come in for these football and the attendance of those places will be sold out, like Ohio Stadium. You have a home team down there in December. People are, well, you think they'll fill it up? Are you kidding me? I mean,
what stadium is in this?
Mad Dog Russo was talking about, well, I'm not sure whether or not these teams are going to sell out. These teams in the playoffs, and I thought to myself, is it like Ohio State? I will guarantee you that if they play a game down there in December, a playoff game down in December, you will have 105,000 people at that stacked, loaded in that stadium like no tomorrow.
I heard that argument,
and I've heard
with Michigan too, and talking about them, and it brought up somebody else. I forgot who it was. All those stadiums will be sold.
They'll be sold out.
They sell them out in some of the big games anyway. You think they're not going to a national playoff game for the national, getting towards the national championship? There's no way they're not going to fill that out.
Right. Ohio Stadium will be packed, and then the ratings will be through the roof.
Now, the ratings I've been looking at, it's always been good for the championship series, the Final Four.
Yeah, the Final Four series.
It's always been good. So what is it going to be this year?
Those games,
oh man,
the bowl games that we don't care about get good ratings.
Yeah,
now that you have the games,
Eater Bowl is great,
right? They do the Bahama Bowl. All these bowls they put, and that's why people go, "Why do they have these bowls?" Because they get good ratings. And you might not get great. Some cases you may not get great attendance, but you still get decent attendance. But you get great TV ratings for bowl games.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, people will put them out and watch them.
How much money that makes just from the ratings.
Right.
You may not fill that stadium all the way up, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's the TV.
Yep. and they get it. And that's why you keep seeing almost every year, you got to look at it real close. And you'll wonder, I never heard of that bowl. That's because they snuck another one in.
Yeah.
Another new one.
And again.
Yep.
They're going to have them. You're going to have the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. You're going to have all these other bowls out there because those bowls, people watch bowls, and those make money. They all make money.
Yep.
And that's what counts. And that's, again, we talk about where TV ratings drive it. You look at the numbers for the NFL, like the Dallas Cowboys, I know they're playing lousy, but they were talking about
money they racket in.
For Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys were unbelievable for their ratings. That Monday night game threw 16 million. No, I'm sorry. I think it was. I'll have to look it up, but I thought it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15, 16 million. And Dallas isn't very, very good.
Right.
But they're Dallas. Yeah. And people tuned in to maybe like they watch a train wreck. Bottom line is those ratings, football ratings, always outdraw NBA and baseball.
Yep.
Through the roof. Even the NBA Finals and the World Series, they don't draw what an NFL team does, or even a good college team.
Right.
And like Notre Dame Army tonight, those ratings are going to be crazy. And they've got competition with the other teams playing at 7:30. Mm-hmm. But Notre Dame Army tonight will be heavy with ratings.
Yeah. And it's a lot of ratings to go around because something about this, I don't know if it's because of the expanded playoffs or whatever, but I remember many weeks during the college football season, we'll have a major game that's playing that week and we'd be looking forward to it. We got to watch this game. But it has seemed like every week we don't have those weeks when we said, oh, it's nothing really playing. Oh, it's a game one. It's so-so. We might watch that one, a matchup. This is usually a good matchup every single weekend. Maybe more than one. I don't know if it's because of the enhanced playoffs or whatever is going on, but it seems like every week I've seen good college football games on to watch every week. I mean, you anticipate a game and you get to see a pretty good game. So, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one here. It's coming up.
Yeah, the ratings. So you basically, when you look at the ratings, it was 17 million.
For the Dallas?
Dallas. And here's a give you an idea. The World Series this past year, Dave Clark, Game 1, World Series, right? Between the LA Dodgers, New York Yankees, Game 1. This is classic two of the biggest two rivals with two biggest markets in baseball. That was in the World Series, mind you, drew 15 million. That was Yankees, Dodgers, World Series Game 1. A Monday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys being somewhat of a train wreck, with playing Houston Texans, a solid team, drew 17 million. So more people watched a Monday night game than they did the World Series game.
And you want to know what's king?
Yeah, exactly. You just answered that.
Just stop it.
This is the World Series, mind you. And then last year, that World Series with Arizona, I don't think it drew 10 million.
Yeah.
But you've got a Monday Night Football game in the regular season with a Dallas Cowboy team that's not very good.
No,
and the Texans, again, are a good team, but Dallas is a train wreck. Yeah. People tuned in. 17 million people tuned in to watch that game. And it wasn't a great game. Dallas got dominated pretty much, but it was kind of close enough in the people.
First,
but it is still Dallas.
Yes, just because of them. I mean,
because it is Dallas.
You were waiting, even though they were standing there tough at first. You're just waiting for when the wheel's going to fall.
Right, you knew they were going to fall off.
So now think 17 million. Now let's say the 12-4 Dallas team that Dak had, not last year, but the year before, where I thought they were really going to do something. And they did. They played tough against San Francisco in the playoffs, but they weren't able to beat them. That team, can you imagine if that was the team playing?
Oh, man.
And the last year Houston Texans team that was at a different level, man, what would have got? 20-something million?
Easy.
I mean, because there would have been a lot of intrigue into that type of game if it was that kind of records going on. So, man, but it is. It's who's playing, So
I got to make sure this is right. To see Buffalo home, the ratings for that Sunday game, the 425 game for Kansas City at the Buffalo Bills, everybody was just going crazy about that.
Yeah.
31 million. 31 million ratings for that Sunday night game. The Sunday game, the 425 game with Kansas City
and
Buffalo. Everybody was okay. Regular season game, 31 million.
So it doubled the World Series.
Oh yeah, double the World Series.
And that game was an intriguing game.
Oh, it was totally.
A good game. I've seen some good games. We were talking about it last night. To watch the high school game that we've seen all week. Watch it. I didn't expect. I expected a good game, kind of, with the Browns and the Steelers, but I didn't expect what I seen. I thought Pittsburgh probably win it. Man, they came, Cleveland came out to win. They came out and played ball, and that was a game. We got to have a high school game like last night. That was a game, and we just been seeing them all the way from starting with that Buffalo Kansas City game. It's great football all the way through.
All right, yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, we had the games last night. South Range beat Poland in an absolute fantastic played game.
I felt bad though for Poland players because when you
those
play
kids
like
played
that,
so hard, it's they lost
47 minutes,
47
seconds. You are on top. You are in control of the game,
and you lost 17-16. Brutal loss for Poland. South Range finds a way to win it, and Poland again. Congratulations to all the teams that played.
But Poland, I think they're going to be something to reckon with because that team is kind of young.
That's a young team.
I looked at that.
They're
roster,
a very young team.
They are young. They got some couple seniors, but no, they're mainly sophomores and juniors.
A lot of sophomores and juniors.
They could be something.
Next year could be a very good year for the Bulldogs. They lost again. Tough loss to South Range 17-16. And then Ursuline went on and shut out the number
what is
2.
What is that?
Gilmore Academy was the second seeded team behind Ursuline, and Ursuline beat them 54-0.
Yeah, it's ever since that game we had at the beginning of the season. And that was a great game too, that they played. And they lost. Ursuline lost. And they went on a mission from there on out. From there on out, they lost, I think, that game 35-30 or something at the beginning, the first game of the season. And then after that.
Yeah, they lost. That was the first home loss. They lost to Walsh Jesuit 37-35. That was their only loss of the year. And then after that
game was great. That was a great game to call and to be there. And man, did I love it. But from then on, they just been beating teams. They are on a mission. And I never expected that in the regional final.
Yeah, that was a regional final.
Regional final.
They will play
like that.
Ursuline goes on to play Toledo Central Catholic.
Yes,
they're the Fighting Irish of Toledo Central Catholic. That's the Fighting Irish. So you have the two Fighting Irishes playing one another.
Yeah, Fighting Irish Bowl, huh?
This is the state semifinals. So
wow.
David Ursuline has gone on to play in the state semifinals. They will play the other Fighting Irish out of Toledo Central Catholic. Mm-hmm. So, and then South Range, let me see, they will go on. And I was talking with Jim this morning, Craven, our program director. They play Liberty Center. Right. From Henry, Ohio.
Yeah, they're 14-0.
And they're They are 14-0. So South Range is 2 14-0 teams squaring off in going to be another great matchup. And now we are at the state semifinals next weekend. So that's going to be some really great high school
I tell you,
football.
One team that, I think it was a 7th seed, took out Steubenville. 7th or 8th seed. They won the region. They beat Steubenville Big Red, who was 12-0. I believe they were 12 or 13-0. One of them, and they beat them and won the region.
Yeah, we're gonna have to dig that one up.
Yeah,
because
I actually said, "Am I looking at the wrong? Is the score incorrect?" But yeah,
they lost to Bishop Watterson. Steubenville was beaten by Bishop Watterson last night, 37-7. So Watterson will go on to play London, who's 14-0 down there in London, is outside of Columbus.
Bishop Watterson's what, like 9-5 or something?
Let's see. Bishop Watterson Eagles are 14-0.
Well, okay, that must be something. It's another team then.
Yeah, they lost to the 14-0.
Somebody else that was a low seed that was down there, and we was trying to look at that. Me and Martin, we said, that's got to be incorrect.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little research and dig that one up. We're coming up on the halftime. We've got our football picks we haven't gotten to yet. So Saturday morning sports time. It's halftime. We'll be back after a quick timeout on Western Reserve Radio.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Saturday morning sports page. Coming back at you. 330-707-4202. Dave Clark, we motor in. Let's do the let's get some of the pro picks in. We're halftime, and then when Irish Mike buzzes in, we'll we might switch over to college, but we can at least start some of the NFL picks. We got the Steelers wrong. We both picked the Steelers for Thursday night, and obviously that didn't work out. Let's look to the Vikings at the Bears. And you know what I noticed this week with the NFL picks? There's a lot of home dogs, a lot of home teams getting points.
Yeah,
this week. Really a kind of a strange week out there. Vikings are at the Bears, and the Bears are actually getting 3 and a hook. That's the first game on the docket. The 8-2 Vikings, they took care of the Titans last week, 23-13. The Bears had a chance, but to beat the Packers on a field goal that got blocked,
I thought they was going to pull it out.
I thought they were going to pull it out too. They come up short. They're now 4-6. The Vikings are sitting at 8-2.
And Caleb played a good game.
Caleb played good. All the naysayers out there.
Right away. Soon after you said it too. You said they're tearing him apart, and watch what happens. And exactly what did.
Always happens.
Comes right back. Great game. Was right there. It wasn't him that. It wasn't no fault of his that they lost that football game.
No, that wasn't. You can't lay that on him.
No. Oh my
boy! I tell you one thing. They love.
So that's why they can't keep or develop a great quarterback, because they rip them before they get a chance to let them develop.
And that's what I don't think everybody loves to pile on.
Right.
And they love to just say, this kid's a bust. I keep thinking to myself, like, first let him play.
Yeah.
And the line's not that good. They need to get a better line there.
Yeah.
But let this young man develop but no, everybody wants to load. He's a bust. I think he'd be fine. I just think the only problem concerns me, it's the Chicago Bears, and it's like the graveyard of quarterbacks. They all go there and they just basically, they all, flame out because the teams are never good. Their quarterbacks historically have never done well in Chicago.
Yeah, no, it's sad.
But the game, what's your take on the game today? So you got 3 and a hook. The Bears get 3 and a hook. It's going to be obviously playing outside.
It makes me want to take the Bears with the points.
With the hook.
I mean, it does. But
right.
They do play pretty good defense.
Yeah, their defense, the Bears' defense is good enough.
Yeah, it's in. This is very difficult but maybe he's one of them dogs that you got to take the home team and the 3 and a hook.
Let's see.
I can always call and change if I have to, but
it's going to be
one.
Weather-wise, will be 48 degrees and partly cloudy. So
it's not bad.
That's not bad for Chicago in late November.
Late November
in Soldier Field.
That's balmy.
That's actually it is.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah,
it's balmy. And it's not a bad. It's not a bad.
That's not bad at all to be in Chi-Town at that time.
That time of year, because it could be ugly.
Yeah.
Like Cleveland was Thursday night, where it was snowing like all get out. You can barely see the players. It was bad Thursday night.
I asked my brother. My brother is a season ticket holder, and he went to it. And him and his friend went, but they had a bet. My brother said, if Cleveland is terrible or just losing at halftime, I'm out of here. And the guy said, okay, I'll take you up on that. But if they're winning or ahead, you got to stay the whole game.
He stayed the whole game.
He had to stay the whole game. He said that was one he didn't want to do, but he said, "Oh my goodness, he said it was unbelievable. It's how packed the stage."
Yeah, place was. Yeah, I give. And you know what, Cleveland, you got to give them credit. That place was packed right up to the end of the game.
And
then I think the people stayed there after the game to celebrate the win.
Yeah.
Out in that
was like a Super. It was like a Super Bowl.
It was their Super Bowl.
Because
they beat the Steelers, the hated Steelers, their rival.
Yep.
And then and they were again 2-8. Now they're 3-8. And they're not in the playoff discussion at all. The fact that they beat the Steelers at home with the snow, it doesn't affect the fans. Love it. They love the snow. They love the weather. And I know Haslam's going to somewhere down the road might put the team out in Brook Park in a dome.
I'm sure they're going to say, please have it where you can open it.
So we can let the snow in and let everybody, because the people want to have the snow.
I mean, it's always been an element of Cleveland football.
That's it. You always have, it's on the lake.
Yeah.
That stadium sits on that lake and it just begs lake effect snow to come in December and late November.
Right.
So you're going to get that snow and that crappy weather and cold. I mean, it's just a cold
football.
It's football, and that's what the fans.
Now, I don't want to be in it now at my advanced age. I'd rather not be in that.
No,
but back then, boy, I love that.
No.
Snow, mud, and all that.
Oh,
yeah, I love it.
We were younger, but no, not
not now.
Not now. No, the bones and the body and that. No, not the cold
Give
weather.
Me 12 layers of blankets.
Yeah, and I'm still going to be cold. So what? How do you feel?
I think I'm taking I'm leaning towards the Bears right now.
All right.
As one of them home dogs, but I don't know. I might call and change that one, but we'll leave it for now.
I don't know either. This could be a coin flip game.
That's my question mark game.
Yeah, it's mine too. I can't decide.
I don't know.
I don't know. Darnold out there in the cold weather. Although we did play in I will go with the Vikings and lay the 3.5. Let's go to the Lions or at the Colts. The Colts are getting 7.5. Now the Lions blew out the Jags last week, 52-6. That game never a game. Never. The only question they were saying is with the Jags, how when do they fire the coach?
Yeah, it's coming. Peterson's out.
So, but the only question with that is. And the Jags are on a bye this week.
Yeah. Unless the things are super miserable in the locker room, just play it out.
Yeah.
Fire them. But if it's miserable, then you might have to. You got to, change some things.
To get a jump on the next guy, it won't be Urban Meyer. I don't think he's coming back to Jacksonville.
I'm taking Detroit seems to be on a mission.
Yeah.
I think they really want to get to this Super Bowl where they probably should have been. Last year, they should have got there.
They should have won because they outplayed the Niners and lost.
Them. Yeah, they should have been in the bowl, but woulda, coulda, shoulda doesn't matter. San Fran stayed together and won that game. You got to give them credit. But I think they're on a mission. 7.5, 10.5, 20.5. I'm taking them.
Me too.
Taking them.
I think the Lions,
they're just on a mission.
The Patriots are at the Miami Dolphins.
Now, these teams are on a mission too.
And now Miami is 4-6. The Patriots lost last week. I lost that. I took them in points, and it wasn't enough. They lost 28-22. The Rams, you got that one right. The Finns, we got it wrong. We took the Raiders, and the Raiders lost 34-19.
Right.
So minus 7.5. So the Patriots get
7.5.
On the road in Miami.
That's the good part about it. It's in Miami.
So
that helps them out a great deal. At least they throw the ball down the field now with Drake.
Yeah, May's a good quarterback. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think he is too. I'm going to take the 7.5.
All right, I'll take the Patriots at home. You'll take the Patriots and the points.
Well, yeah,
I'll lay the.
You taking the Dolphins?
I'll take the Finns and lay the 7.5. I don't know.
Okay.
Next one is the Buccaneers and the Giants. Both teams are coming off bye. What's his face?
Danny Jones?
No, Danny DeVito. No.
Danny DeVito. Danny.
Sorry, wrong DeVito.
Hey, Danny. At 5'1".
Joey Cutlets. Joey DeVito.
Man.
Joey DeVito is the starter. Joey, I always think I can't. The problem with I always think of DeVito, and I keep thinking of Liberty DeVito because he was Liberty of DeVito was in Billy Joel's band, and I think he's like I gotta figure. Anyway, then there's the Carla DeVito that sang a great song in Breakfast Club, who's married to the actor. But I can't think his name. But anyway, all these DeVitos out there.
I'm sorry, Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, though, is the DeVito.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
And lay the 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to lay it. It's 6.5. It went up some from before.
Let me see.
It went up an entire
this
point.
Morning,
it was about 5 at one time.
Yeah, it was at 5. Now it's minus 6.5.
Whoa, it's steady going up. I don't know. The Giants might be inspired though after the whole situation.
And that's kind of what. But what's his name is back. The wide receiver.
Yeah, Michael Evans is back.
Michael Evans is back.
And that's big for Baker. That is definitely big, and they can run the football too. I'm just gonna go Tampa Bay. I'm going Tampa Bay. A lot of times I like taking the Giants. They just seem good against the spread a lot of times, but
52 degrees.
Whoa.
+6.
That's pretty good weather at this time.
Weather's okay. Yeah, I was kind of almost thinking maybe the Giants could make it interesting and keep it within the spread with DeVito playing, but they're a bad football team. I'm gonna take the Bucs too. Let's go with the Cowboys at the Commanders. This is a lot of wood.
Did they get up over? It was 10 at one time.
It's
I don't know
10.5 now.
10.5.
Yeah, the Cowboys get 10.5 points.
This in Washington.
At Washington.
It is good. I mean, come on. It's like Pittsburgh, Cleveland. That's what it's like. So now you're in Washington. The blood is in the water. They want to see. They don't want them to just beat Dallas. They want them to dismantle them if they can. And they got the team to do it. They really do. That's a lot of wood, but I feel like giving it up. I feel like just being crazy. I might go 2 and whatever this week, but I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, the thing with this is,
Quinn knows them well.
He knows the team like the back of his hand. Dallas, I think, is just in a bad free fall.
Yeah. They just played that bad game when Monday night? No.
Monday night, yeah. They lost 34-10 Monday night.
You know how that happens.
Usually they snap back.
Yeah. I just don't know
and
if
that's
they can
kind of what.
Do they got any elastic? I don't think they got it.
I don't know if Cooper Rush, I mean, I know he's going to play, but he can't continue to take hits like that and survive. And then it's Trey Lance, and you could see they don't want to play Trey Lance at all. I guess I don't understand why.
Why you get him?
Yeah, here's what I don't take, and I guess I'll take Dallas on the road. Can they? No, I'm
just taking the Commanders.
I'm going to take the Commanders. I know that's a lot of points, but I think Dallas has mailed it in, and I'm probably giving them a break. The only thing I can't figure out with Dallas and Trey Lance, your season's done. You made the move to get Trey Lance. Play him.
Mm-hmm.
Play Trey Lance. See what you have. Let him get reps out there. You're 3-8 or 3-7. Your season is done. You made the trade. Everybody speculated how good Trey Lance might be or could have been. He didn't get a lot of reps. Mm-hmm. I would play the kid. I would just say, where are you going here, people? Play him. You're 3-7. Dak's gone for the year. Your team's kind of a wreck.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I would let the young guy get in and play. I want to see what Trey Lance has got. And poor Cooper Rush. I bet you Cooper Rush would say, "Yeah, here, take the ball." I'm sick and tired of getting basically leveled out there by flying defenders coming at me like missiles.
Yeah.
Give Trey Lance the ball. Let the kid give it out there and see what he can do for you at this rate.
And he does add an element.
He can move around better, and he's an athlete. He's a good athlete. He can run. Let Trey Lance play. Your season's over. Next game on the docket is the Chiefs at the Panthers. This is another lot of wood.
And this is a game normally who's at home?
The Panthers are home getting 10.5.
That's a team I would normally take. I would take that. That's a lot of points. But the problem is the Kansas City Chiefs lost.
Yeah, they're coming off a loss.
That's not good to have to play them after a loss.
But they've had trouble covering.
Yeah, they have.
This year, they're just bad.
You're not kidding on that one.
But
they've been awful.
Yeah.
But do I think them covering this one? I don't. I think they're gonna crush.
You think they're gonna take?
I think they're gonna be mad and upset.
Take them to the woodshed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I mean, I ain't never did that many games give up points like this. I gave up 11, 10 and a half.
10 and a half.
I gave another big one up earlier, didn't I?
Yeah, you gave up. We gave up. Yeah, we gave up the Commanders.
Mm-hmm, Commanders, and I know what I did. I gave up No, you did.
We gave up the Colts 7.5. You gave up the Patriots. No, you took the Patriots and the points.
Mm-hmm. I think it was the Colts game or
the
something.
The Colts game, we both agreed on that one. That was 7 and a hook. We both took the Lions.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of points when it's over.
That's a team on a roll.
I'm taking it, though. KC, I'm going to take them.
Yeah, you know what? This could be the Panthers Super Bowl. They're 3-7.
Yeah,
they beat the Giants.
And they played decent.
And they played good. And they were coming off a bye. They're coming off the bye. The Chiefs had the loss the Sunday game. I will go ahead and I will take the Chiefs anyway, too. I know that's a lot of points. And I'm leery because Kansas City does play to the level of the opponents. I could change that, but let's go move forward. Titans at the Texans.
That's probably another big.
There's another
more than
8.
7. Oh, it's 8. Good.
8.
That's crazy.
-8. Titans get -8 down in Houston. It's a division rival. Titans are 2-8 though, and pretty much out of it. A lot of teams that are out of it in the NFL though. But the Texans 7-4 coming off a big win against Dallas, but laying 8 points. They are home though. So Texans are home and they're going to give the traveling in time. I'm going to take the Texans.
Me too. I'm just laughing because how many times I'm giving up major points, but I am.
This week is when I was doing finally this morning. I do the point. I put the point spreads in. I decided I wouldn't do it like on Wednesday and Thursday because these spreads change. But I noticed, God, there's a lot of big point spreads for NFL.
Yeah, for NFL.
NFL,
yeah.
This is college. Some of these, this is like mimicking college. College has the big point spreads. NFL, it's usually tight.
Yeah,
within 7 points, but not this week. It's kind of a.
I'm gonna give the Titans up too.
Let's move to the Broncos at the Raiders.
What's that about 7 to 8?
6
down
to 6. Yeah. Denver lays 6. Another home dog. Raiders getting 6 at home. They lost last week to the Miami Dolphins, and then the Broncos just absolutely. I don't know what happened. That game was supposed to be a relatively close game. I took the Broncos. You took the Falcons. And I mean, I thought I was on the wrong side of that, but I thought I gambled. They beat the Falcons 38-6. It wasn't even a game.
No.
I mean, I don't know if the Falcons didn't like Denver playing in the altitude got them.
Like they didn't even show.
No.
I mean, it just didn't.
They just got absolutely waxed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand it, but
they got absolutely. They were taken to the woodshed. I'm going to take.
It's in Vegas, right?
It's Vegas, which means it's a home game for the Broncos because all those Bronco fans are going to that. I will guarantee you that game. It's 4:05 CBS. If you put that game on, you'll swear you're at Denver because it'll be that. Las Vegas will be full of Denver fans because that's not for Denver fans to go out to Las Vegas. It's not a push. They can go to Vegas and they will fill that stadium up, and you'll swear you're at a Bronco game. I'll take the Broncos and lay the points.
Yeah, and that's exactly the amount of points they beat them when they played earlier.
Right,
23-17. They beat them by 6. They beat the Raiders. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take the Raiders.
Okay. Might be better.
Maybe they'll just show.
Well, they're due to Browns. I mean, in fairness, if you look at it from your perspective, it's almost Denver's due to come down and the Raiders are due for a decent game, and it's a rival game.
Yeah.
So it's probably smart to take the Raiders and the points because it's an interdivision rival game, and those teams always play one another tough.
Yeah.
Which I'm just thinking that Denver seems to be on the roll, and the Raiders just seem to be going the other way. No quarterback. Now they're talking about Pierce is on the hot seat, talking about a new car. I mean, what's going to be unbelievable this year when we
they do fire Pierce, and I really feel like they probably will. But whoever they get, now our man Dion's name is coming up a lot to go there
for Dallas and there.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, and they was thinking at the Raiders because of the opportunity that they can also draft Shador, and he be the coach too. It's like a package deal. But I mean, that could happen, but I mean, I don't know if you want to just keep changing. That's the problem.
You get into the.
Now, I was upset about them getting Telesco because he wasn't a great GM at the Chargers,
right?
And then they got him as the GM, and they're not linked together. Him and Pierce, they're not linked. So, I don't know what's coming down the pike for them, but we'll see. A lot of that front office stuff got a lot to do with these teams,
right?
Raiders, Giants,
all of them. Yep,
all of them. It's not the players per se.
No, it's
that front office. They don't put the right players together because there's no way neither one of those teams should be where they're at.
No,
and the Raiders, the way they played, they should have been at a different level.
They're both 2-8. Giants and Raiders are 2-8.
Don't make any sense at all.
Going in, and they all have quarterback issues.
Yep, that's something.
And you can't. I mean, I like
line play issues.
No, right.
They both got it line
issues.
On the offensive line has been tough on both teams.
Both teams.
Defense is not that bad.
No, both.
But they're on the field a lot.
That's it. You're not going to win a lot of games when your defense is out on the field because your offense can't keep them off
that
the
defense
field
at all. I see those guys. They play. I know we got playmakers on there. But you're out there all the time. You're not going to be making too many plays.
Let's go to the next game. The 49ers. Now they are a mash unit. They're 5-5. They're at Green Bay, and Brock Purdy and Bosa are not playing.
So I forgot who's the backup for San Fran. It's somebody decent though. I thought this is he doesn't play because Brock's been healthy.
Maybe rumor is they might go after Daniel Jones.
Yeah, depending.
Allen, the quarterback,
the one that's been all around the league.
Yeah, I'd be honest. I'll have to be flat out honest with you.
You don't know.
I've never heard of it. Let me see.
Wait, if it's the Allen I'm thinking of, one.
It's not Duck Devlin though.
No, I'm trying to think of that quarterback.
But anyway, it said Allen. It says Allen to start. So I've got to do some research because I'll be honest with you.
If it's the Allen I'm thinking of, it's been a veteran. He's been pretty decent. He's been in good places. Denver. It's the one. If it's the one I'm thinking of, well, not the Redskins. Commando. He's always been a tough quarterback. I can't think of first name, but anyway,
we'll get to that anyway. Brandon Allen. I'm sorry, Brandon Allen.
It's a different one I'm thinking.
Will start for Purdy, and Brandon Allen is 6'2". He's from Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
He was a 6th round pick in 2016. He's 32 years old. He's 6'2", 209 pounds, and he hasn't really played much this year. So
how many points are they giving those guys?
It's 5 and a hook.
Ooh.
The 49ers are getting 5 and a hook.
Purdy. Yeah, because it was only 2.
Now it went up. Yeah, because it went up 3.
And you're playing in Lambeau?
Playing in Lambeau Field, which the weather isn't going to be bad there. I looked. The weather there is 45 degrees.
Another balmy day.
Yeah, the weather there actually for, you think Green Bay this time of year, usually it's snow and 25. No, it's 45 degrees and cloudy.
Yeah,
so it's balmy there.
I'm going to take the Pack. They might, if they could get beat by this guy at quarterback, it'd be something, but I can't see it.
Well, the thing with the 49ers is they're 5-5. They're in that division we'll get to, but that division is obviously
they're all right there.
They're all right on top of one another, I believe, at 5-5.
Yeah. Because Arizona is 6-4.
And Arizona is 6. And yes, they are. Arizona is 6-4. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But the other teams are all clumped. Seattle,
they're all 5-5.
They're all the other teams are 5-5 in that division.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Speaking of the Cardinals, they're up next. They're playing at the Seahawks. The Seahawks get a point. So this is almost an even game. And the Cardinals they're off a bye. The last time they played, they beat the Jets 31-6. But the Cardinals coming off a bye. Seahawks won that game last week against the 49ers 20-17. As we talked about, Geno Smith making the run to win the game and caught everybody flat-footed. And Gino is like he's almost like a magician sometimes.
I root for Gino.
I do too. I really like Gino a lot.
He got battered over his career.
Oh,
I mean, just talked about not playing. Just what a bust.
Yep.
He's terrible.
Yep.
He's
been abused. And yeah, he shouldn't be. I mean, ruthless. People are just ruthless. He didn't belong here. He's a terrible quarterback. He's this. He was with the Jets. He's with the Giants. He went through that game where they broke Eli's streak and stuck Geno Smith in.
Yeah.
And people were screaming, what are you doing that for? Because it's, no one understood it. And Geno is just like goes with it, man. And what do you do? Speaking of Geno, you got him and you get Kyler Murray, the other guy they keep writing off as a bust. And they keep crucifying. He can't play. He doesn't stay. Now, he throws one of the best balls in the league. He drops it right in.
It's so funny, though. I like you bringing this up because
everybody loves to.
Why is it so quiet? You don't hear all this mess about Kyler Murray.
No.
And I don't hear it about Russell Wilson now. No. In college.
Right.
Shadir is this and that.
Right.
I don't hear that
noise. A lot of noise.
It's Deion's worst coach at nothing.
Yeah. Last year, Deion, he
was getting ripped.
He was getting ripped to shreds. Now he might get in the 12. He wins. I think if they win out, they can get in.
Yeah. If he wins out,
he gets in.
He's got a chance.
He wins.
He's going to a big time bowl regardless.
Oh yeah. If he doesn't get in, but he could get in.
He could. This game, man.
But the Cardinals are the Seahawks. It's almost a coin flip game.
But they got a point.
1 point. Seahawks get a point at home.
Okay, the Seahawks is getting a point.
Yeah, the Seahawks get the point.
Oh, okay, I thought
so. They are a home dog getting a point.
Okay, I thought the Cardinals.
All right.
Okay.
Well.
Oh, there's the music.
Okay, timeout. Fourth quarter coming up. We're going to finish the NFL picks and get to college. Saturday Morning Sports Page back after this.
This is Matt Lipsack, the voice of the Youngstown Phantoms, and your home for Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take a pledge and get screennow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself, and nothing rhymes with org.
Talk to your doctor about your health and screenings that are right for you.
Oh man, I guess we take Kyler.
Kyler, you want the Cardinals? I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm taking
Kyler.
them. I just hate it.
But I hate to go against Geno because I really like Geno a lot. See, I like Geno. To me, it's just like he's just so like goes with it, and he takes all the verbal abuse from how the media, all the years in New York, and the media was just always criticizing. And then he had the good year with Seattle, and then last year wasn't a great year, but now he's coming back and they're playing better, and the team is really playing really good now. And Gino just goes, what I like about Gino, he's really a great competitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just puts himself, he ignores all the noise, or he uses it as motivation to get out there and prove people wrong, which I think is fantastic. Let's go to the Cleveland Eagles at the Rams. The Sunday night, or a very good Sunday night game.
Yeah.
And the Rams are actually getting 3 points Sunday night game. Wow. Eagles are 8-2. Coming off that big win against the Commanders on Thursday night, 26-18, where Saquon Barkley pretty much won the game for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Rams beat New England at New England 28-22. They get 3 points. The Eagles on the road. That place will be a Philadelphia home game because all the people in Philly will be out in SoFi Stadium. And I will guarantee you, when you turn that game on Sunday night, you're going to hear all that noise and all the Philadelphia fans going crazy. They travel. It's a crazy but a very good fan base.
Mm-hmm.
That place out in Sunday night will be full of Philadelphia Eagle fans, and you will swear that's an Eagle home game.
Yeah, I know it will.
Because Philly fans are very loyal, and they will travel.
Yep.
So,
no question.
Do you want to lay the 3 and take the Eagles, or?
Part of me wants to say to take the Rams at home with the 3 points.
I think it's going to be a great Sunday night game. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to take the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling that way. I
It's
want to
tough.
be with my team.
But the Rams are playing good.
Yeah.
They're
they
5-5. They're in that division where everybody's 5-5, but the Cardinals, who are 6-4.
Yeah.
Because Seattle's 5-5, San Fran is 5-5, Rams are 5-5.
Yeah.
And the team in first place is 6-4 Cardinals.
And Seattle can get them to 6-5.
And if Seattle wins and the Rams win, I don't think the Niners are going to win, but if they do, you could have everybody sitting at 6-5.
Yep.
Next week.
I'm gonna have to go. I'll go with my team and give up the 3.
Take the Eagles. And the last game on the docket.
Back to SoFi, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so back to SoFi. And yet the Ravens at the Bolts. The Bolts beat the Bengals 34-27 last week. And the Ravens lost to the Steelers. Not a good game at all for the Ravens. Boy, they looked, I don't know if it's the kryptonite of the Steelers.
It's something.
There's just something wrong. Lamar Jackson played terrible. He didn't look good at all.
Yeah, the whole team
did, but it wasn't just him. It was the team.
Yeah, the offense looked horrible.
They played terrible.
It's bad. That's a great offense. They didn't look good then.
They scored 16 points. The Steelers had 6 field goals.
Now, do you think the Chargers can keep them down again? Can they be held down 2 weeks in a row?
The Bolts get 3. No, yeah, the Bolts are getting 3 points at home. So
I want to lean that way since I took the Eagles. It's almost make me want to flip. If I would have took the Rams, then I would take the Ravens. But I can't see their offense staying.
Could and that's the question.
Terrible.
But the Bolts have a really good defense.
Yeah, I know.
And
the
Harbaugh brothers are going against one another.
Yeah,
it's a Harbaugh brother bowl game.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'll take home team Bolts.
Yeah, I'm thinking they may do it this time because he got to get him back. The last time he played against his brother, he lost in the Super Bowl, so he's got to get him back. It's a regular season game, but he got to get him back.
All right.
That was tough.
Of all those picks, the only pick that I'm really waffling on
is that first one.
Mainly that Commander, the Chief pick, that 10.5 points.
Yeah, who we got? The Carolina.
Carolina. I took the Chiefs.
Me too.
And that's a lot of, the Chiefs just play to the level of the opponent and find a way to win. That's been doing it all year.
Yeah.
But I'm going on the premise that, and the Panthers are basically have 3 wins. They're not the worst team in football.
No, and they have played better. They've been more.
Then they have been playing.
They've been more competitive.
And Bryce Young's been playing better. He's getting confidence.
Yes.
Now the defense, though, he's playing the Chief defense, but I don't know. I have a feeling, and I don't know why I think that the Panthers can hang with them.
Yeah, I know. It makes you feel like that. One part of me just says, no, the Chiefs are very upset.
Let's hit the. Let's go ahead and hit. Let's look at the college here. I know these point spreads in college. I put them when I put them down.
I like to see them things be astronomical.
I basically thought, the Buckeyes are down to 10.5. They were 13.5. Now it's down to 10.5. Anyway, so we have the big game today is the Indiana at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Noon at Fox. Buckeyes are laying 10 and a hook. Obviously, we talked a little bit about this. Indiana beat Michigan last week, 2015. Ohio State took care of Northwestern. Was that 30? The game was 31-7. Mm-hmm. Not much of a game. They played in Wrigley Field. Boy, that's not a good place to play a football game, but that's neither here nor there. Northwestern, as Irish Mike said, they're building a new stadium, or they're renovating the one or building it. So they're going to be playing next year is the same thing. They're not going to play any home games at their stadium. They're going to play, like, I guess, in Wrigley Field
again,
as they're redoing the stadium. They're going to make it a state of the art place. So it'd be a nice place to go to a game. Saying all that, and I do digress. Let's go back to the game. It's Indiana at Ohio State. Last time Indiana won at Ohio State was back in 1987 when Bill Mallory was the head coach and Earl Bruce was the head coach for Ohio State. And as I said last week, he got fired that year in 87, and kind of the rest was history. Bill Mallory, obviously, great coach. Had a great year at Indiana. I think he's one of the most, I got to look it up, but I believe he might be the most successful coach in Indiana history. I have to look that up. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, all that history aside, we're Saturday at noon at Fox. It's going to be 45 degrees and cloudy. So it's going to be a typical Ohio day in November. Yeah. So bottom line is, do you want to lay the points and think the Buckeyes will roll the Hoosiers, or?
I mean, they always have.
They always have.
You know what I mean? It makes me want to just take it because they always have, but I don't know if it's the same Indiana. I don't know if they are.
Indiana hasn't played anybody. Big Ten is down in my eyes. You can't gauge Indiana. They're 10-0. They're a good team, and they beat all their opponents. But the criticism is they haven't really played a top-level opponent, but that's not their fault. They're playing who they're scheduled. Yeah. It's just you want to argue the people that set the schedules. Don't, take it against the team. I will take Ohio State Buckeyes and lay the 10 and hook.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I normally would feel concerned. They lost a center. I hate that.
Yeah, that's it though. They have the ACL. That's the other question is
the offensive line. He was the leader.
Right, he was the leader, and he's gone now for the year. That could really hurt the team. They're going to have the backup, obviously, in.
This is hard.
This is a tough pick.
This is a hard one.
I will take Ohio State because they're home.
Yeah.
And usually that counts for
something there.
Something in Indiana. This is their first, legitimate top 5 opponent, top 10. In fact, this is, from you look at the schedule, but again, it's just.
I was trying to think, who did they play? Is that what you're looking at right now?
Yeah, here's a real quick ride. Indiana, they beat, Florida, FIU.
Florida, not Florida.
International.
Okay, go ahead.
Then they beat Western Illinois. Bye. That's a directional. UCLA. Then they beat Charlotte.
Okay, bye-bye.
Another, and then they beat Maryland 42-28, Northwestern 41-24, Nebraska 56-7. That might have been like the big win.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Washington 31-17, Michigan State 47-10, and then Michigan 20-15. And Michigan was home. But Michigan State's not any good. See,
I'm gonna take Ohio State too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a prove it This is a prove-it thing for Indiana today.
Indiana's got to hang with them. Now, can they hang within the spread? That's always great. Let's move on to Ole Miss at Florida. Now, this is going to be an interesting game because I can't ever figure out any of these teams. This point spread went up to 13. So Florida's getting 13 at home.
Florida's been playing better.
But they've been playing better.
Yeah, a lot better. I'm going to take the 13 points. You know, Ole Miss, though, they can shock you at any time and just put up some crazy numbers.
Florida beat LSU last week, 27-16. Ole Miss is off a bye. They last beat Georgia.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what you just don't know.
Yeah.
I think the week before they didn't play well. So
let's get Irish Mike in here. You're on the Saturday Sports page. What's up?
Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Dave. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing the picks. What's your Indiana at Ohio State? 10.5. Buckeyes lay 10.5.
I'm going to go with Ohio State.
Okay. And then
that Indiana-Michigan game bothered me. You know,
yeah.
Indiana's schedule's been troublesome all year, and then 2 weeks ago when they played at home, and I know they had 2 weeks to get ready, but this might be a little bit too much for them.
And then we just started Ole Miss at Florida, and they changed that to 13. So Ole Miss is laying 13 points to the Gators in Florida.
I'll take Florida plus the 13.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll go off rail and I'll go Ole Miss. Let's go to SMU at Virginia. That is 11 points. Virginia gets 11 points at home. Another home dog.
SMU.
And
SMU is giving how much?
11. At Virginia.
I just like how they could put points on the boards. SMU. I'm taking them.
Yeah.
I'll take Virginia at home in 11, Pat.
All right.
I think the weather's going to be iffy on the East Coast with it. You never know how that type of offense is going to react.
It's 56 degrees and cloudy, so who knows? But yeah. Yep. Okay. This is one I put on because Illinois is rated 25th in the country. I wouldn't normally put this game on, and it's a close spread. It's our favorite team. Illinois is at Rutgers, our favorite team. The Scarlet Knights are getting 2 points at home.
I'll take Illinois.
Yeah, I'm going to take Illinois, too.
Yeah.
we might all three lose that.
Probably will.
Scarlet.
We didn't do good last week.
Dave, I thought Lucia moved off of Rutgers, and he was all about the Kansas Jayhawks now.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get.
We're going to get there. Oh, I knew.
We're getting there. We're going to
be on there.
We're getting there.
I'm telling you, they was injured up. That's not a bad football team.
He loves those mystery lines. Pat Lucia loves those mystery lines.
Chaos. Let's go to BYU at Arizona. Arizona State. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
BYU at Arizona State. And actually, this is interesting because BYU is getting, 3 points? Yeah. So BYU gets 3 points at Arizona State. 8-2 Arizona. BYU lost last week to Kansas. We got that wrong.
At home.
16-13.
Yep.
So
I'll go with Pat. I'll go with Arizona State today at home.
Me too.
Yeah. I like it. I do too.
Scatterboo. They give him the ball all the time.
Dave, it's going to catch up to BYU eventually, right? Too many close games.
Yeah, it's been tough.
Man. Yeah. Those Big 12 teams they're tight wound. Speaking of Kansas, they're back. This is a great game at 3:30 today on Fox. Colorado is at Kansas, and Kansas gets 3 points at home. So they got a home dog. They're 4-6. They got nothing to play for here, but their pride. Colorado is 6-1 Big 12. They could be potentially in. They could make the 12-team playoff if they went out. So Dion won last week over Utah, 49-24, and BYU got, as we talked, Kansas beat BYU 16-13 last week.
Yeah.
So Kansas is home, getting 3 points.
And I didn't know this, Pat, till this week. Kansas has not had a home field all year long. They're remodeling their field, so they're playing all their games where the Kansas City Chiefs play. So
This game's at
So they're going
Arrowhead.
to be playing at Arrowhead.
Yep.
Yeah, Arrowhead, correct. Yep.
Yeah.
You mean the Buffs?
Yeah, Arrowhead Stadium. Yes, right here.
Yep. I'm going to take the
I
Buffs.
think, Dave, I'm going to make Pat Lucia mad because I know what direction he's going. I'm going to go with the Colorado Buffaloes. Okay?
Yeah, me too. I'm going to Buffs.
We know where he's going.
But I know that Daniels is no joke. They got some athletes on that team, boy. But
yeah, you know what though? As much as I want to go Kansas, I got to go
Colorado.
I got to go Colorado. They're on a roll. I got to go Colorado on this one. Okay.
And by the way, real quickly, gentlemen, Juju Lewis, the number one quarterback in the country, who's committed to USC for over a year and a half, he committed from USC early this week, and he just committed to Colorado on Thursday night, so he's going to be a Buffalo and play for Deion Sanders.
Yeah, because I seen it was going back and forth with him in Georgia and all that.
Who was the other guy that went to? Who's the other quarterback who just decommitted and now is going to Michigan?
Underwood, Bellevue, Michigan. He was committed to Brian Kelly for over a year, and he just decommitted on Thursday.
That's
to the Michigan Wolverines. And Pat, he's probably going to bring 3 or 4 other guys with him.
I'm sure he will.
This LSU class is going to implode. I mean, obviously Brian Kelly losing 3 games in a row. The honeymoon's over down in Baton Rouge, and it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Well, we said if he loses another one down there, and boy, he gets smashed. Yeah, I think
the Vanderbilt Commodores are in town tonight. Clark Lee.
Hey, they better be careful they don't lose.
Clark Lee was the defense coordinator in Notre Dame for years.
Yeah, he
so
better
they worked
be
together at ND.
Hey, Vandy is not any joke.
Don't
you
take
can't play around with
granted.
Play around if you want to.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Next game is Army tonight, 7:37. Peacock, 14 and a hook. Army getting 4. Now it's just 14. So Army's getting 14 points tonight at Notre Dame. Is this going to be an ND blowout, or does Army hang with these guys? That's the question.
My buddy's got low seats. He lives in New Jersey, Lucia. He's got low seats at Yankee Stadium. He's very, very excited about tonight's game.
Yeah, I bet he's psyched going, gonna watch the game tonight at Yankee Stadium. It's a Notre Dame home game, but they're playing it at Yankee Stadium, and it's 45 degrees.
You said 14 and hook or just 14?
14 now. Playing 14.
Notre Dame.
Me too.
Yeah, I just think they're too big in the trenches.
Yeah,
I just think they're going to. They got to play power ball, and I think they're going to, they'll wear them down.
The talent level, and that's it.
Yeah, I just think
Army. I know, Lucia, you think 80% of the crowd's going to be Notre Dame crowd.
Oh, they will be. At least. Yeah, 80%, 80%, at least 80% of the crowd will be Notre Dame. When you pull it up on TV, you'll see all Notre Dame, I think. It'll be a rough
one.
Yeah.
I mean, just because Army can control the ball, I know their defensive stats are off the charts, Dave, Army, but their offense just plays keep away. They run the ball 95% of the time, and they keep their defense off the field, which I think, implodes their defensive stats a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I think Notre Dame's going to win the game, but I could see Army keeping it close and getting a backdoor touchdown. So I'm going to go with Army plus 14.
Okay. Let's move on.
With Notre Dame to win the game outright.
Okay.
Let's go to Bama at Oklahoma, and now it's 14. 14 points. Oklahoma gets 14 points.
And that game's in Norman, correct?
Yes, it is. Yep.
I'm gonna still go Alabama. I don't know.
I'm going to go, Pat. I'm going to go Oklahoma. Same thing. I think Alabama will win the game, but Oklahoma was keep it close and plus give me Oklahoma plus 14.
All right. I'll lay the points. I'll take Bama. Iowa State at Utah.
Wow.
And 7 points even. No hook.
Utah gets 7?
Yes. Utah's getting 7 points at home.
Oh. Iowa State has fell off the last couple of weeks. They really have.
Yeah.
Utah played a spirited game against the Buffaloes for a while, but they couldn't hang after a little bit later in the game. So,
yeah, Utah. They got beat 49-28.
I'm just going. It's tough.
Iowa State.
I just take the points. It's in Utah.
Yep.
They get to 7. I just take that. I'm not real confident, as you can see, but I'm not going to do it.
That's a rough one. That's a hard one right there.
Yeah,
that's a hard one.
Yeah, it's tough because it's 7 points. Since Iowa State beats Cincinnati UC last week 34-17, and again, as you said, Colorado destroyed Utah 49-24. Like you said, Utah hung with them, and then
then it's just
too much. Utah's
too much
got the talent level, and took over. But what do you say, Irish Mike?
Oh boy, I'm going to win. I'll take the 7 points in Utah at home in Salt Lake City.
Me too.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I like Utah on the points.
Yep.
Let's go to the final game, Texas A&M at Auburn. Boy, this is an interesting game because A&M is still in the run for that Big 12 for the SEC. They're in the discussion.
Oh, yeah. They're still there.
Auburn's out of it, but Auburn could be a spoiler. But here's the thing. Auburn is getting 1.5 at home. They're looking at this as almost an even matchup between A&M and Auburn.
Wow. Yeah, they're looking at that.
Yeah, which surprised me because I thought...
I'm going to still take A&M. I think Vegas is trying to lure people into some wrong... I don't know. I'm going to take A&M.
I don't know. What do you say, Irish Mike?
I heard Jimbo Fisher in a radio interview earlier this week. He was doing one of those Comcasts, and he said that his experience in the SEC and in Florida State, that Auburn plays better at home than any school in the SEC.
That'd be right.
He feels like if any school in the SEC, Auburn's a much different team at home than they are on the road for whatever reason that he's experienced. But
that's interesting.
I think this is a must-win for Texas A&M. I mean, because it sets up the home game in Kyle and College Station next week with the Texas Longhorns. For the.
And that's another thing they might be looking.
Game, right? I mean,
odds makers.
Keep your college playoff hopes alive. So I'm going to go with the Texas A&M Aggies.
Yeah, and I think the odds makers is looking at that. Can they be looking past? But, these teams can't be looking past. Them coaches got to keep them focused because you can't look past anything. Not with this playoff system.
No, not with this system as it is.
You can't do it.
Like I said, man, I don't know. I'll take Auburn. I'll take Auburn on the upset.
Let's see what record we come out with next week.
What we come out next week. We were all 2-7 last week.
Oh, that was great.
I told you guys, we all qualify as top flight analysts. Maybe ESPN will hire us since we went 2-7. Yeah, we got everything wrong.
I don't think Dave Clark, right now in the world of high school recruiting, there's a school more active in NIL and trying to bring kids in right now than the Auburn Tigers. I mean, they're being very, very, very active in this. I mean, kids have been committed to schools for 9, 10, 11, 12 months, and they're going after them hard. Letterman 10th Day is December 4th now, guys. So it's not this coming Wednesday. It's the following Wednesday.
Man.
Because
they might be
playoffs
something.
are starting the 20th and 21st, and they didn't want the hassle of recruiting to be around that time. So now they put it when schools are getting ready for their conference championship games that week.
I guess Auburn want to get back in the mix of everything that goes on.
Back in big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've realistically, again, they're down this year. They're 4-6.
Yeah. I really liked it when Auburn was up there. When you had Auburn, Alabama, Florida, all these teams. I mean, I loved it. So why not just make it even better?
Yeah, you need to. Bottom line is, when you're looking at especially when you start looking at some of the standings in college football, Army is in a conference. I heard that this week. Yep. They're in the American Athletic Conference. They and Tulane are both 7-0.
Yeah, they're going to play Tulane on December 7th for the conference championship. So they'll play this week, and next week they play Tulsa, which is a game they should win, regardless of their name game. And then they play the Navy game December 14th. So if they can upset Notre Dame and win their conference, they'll be in the playoffs and still play another regular season game on the 14th against Navy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. A very unique circumstance. Very unique.
That's very unique.
Very unique.
And right now, SMU, the Mustangs are the top team in the ACC. They're in first place at 6-0.
Yeah.
Clemson. And Clemson 7-1, Miami 7 and 5-1.
5-1, yeah, because they played less games.
They played less games, and then the Cougars and the Colorado Buffaloes are tied at 6-1 on top of the Big 12 right now.
I know, guys.
BYU and Colorado. Game. I didn't know that.
I know we didn't pick this game, guys. What's your thoughts on Penn State at Minnesota game?
That's an interesting game. You probably should put it down. That's an interesting game. How about we add that?
All right.
That is. I forgot I seen that. And that.
Let's see
what's the line in that game, Pat? I know Penn State.
I will tell you.
Is it at Minnesota?
Here it is.
At Minnesota.
-11. Penn State at Minnesota, and Minnesota's getting 11 points.
I'm taking Minnesota.
I put out a text earlier this week, Dave, to my friends. 3 teams, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Penn State. Ohio State plays home in Indiana, Notre Dame plays at the Yankee Stadium against Army, and then Penn State plays in Minnesota. Which one of those 3 could you see getting upset of those 3? And everybody put Penn State.
Yeah, Minnesota is sneaky.
Yeah, they're a sneaky team. They're 6-4, 4-3 in the Big Ten.
I'm taking them. I like their running back. Quarterback is tough. And they just seem to play really good at home.
What about
I would take Minnesota there too, Pat. I would give me Minnesota if we're going to do this.
Well, I'm going to put them on. Why not? Or what are we going to do? 2-8?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Actually, that gives us 11 games. So
oh, man, we could go 2-9.
we could go 3.
Irish Mike.
We could go 2-9 or 3-8 or 1-10.
Yeah, just forget the 1-10. Why not 0-11?
Yeah, let's really go for 0-11. That's what I could do. Anyway,
who you got?
I'll. You know what?
You gonna be the outlier?
No, I don't know.
You can't be the outlier.
I can't. Penn State. I could see Minnesota hanging with them.
I just see
That's a lot of points.
It is.
And you're right. Minnesota's a funny team.
Funny team, but plays better at home. I think.
They're better at home. I'll take Minnesota in the points too. I'll take it. I don't know if Penn State wins it.
Yep.
But it'll be 7 points. I could see that. I could see Penn State 28-21. Win the game, but not cover that spread.
Well, I'm ready to go home and get on the couch. I got a few things to do in the middle. Might take about an hour and a half, then back to the couch.
You got to get to the couch because you got Indiana, Ohio State coming on at noon.
I got all kinds of. I'm watching all day. Colorado's at 3:30.
Real quickly, I know we're up against it. That Pete Block with the new AD at Notre Dame since July 1st, the old president of NBC Sports, and I've been told there's one playoff game December 20th at 8:00, and there's 3 games on the 21st, Saturday the 21st at noon, 4 and 8. I've been told by 2 different people that if Notre Dame is lucky enough to make the playoffs and host a playoff game in South Bend, it'll be on Friday night, December 20th at 8:00 p.m.
All right.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you,
All right.
Irish Mike. Have a good week.
All right,
Thank you.
Mike.
Steve Clark. Okay. Again, next week we'll do it again. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Load up on turkey, and we'll be back next week. That Saturday Morning Sports Page.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
College Football Tailgate Show, right here on VSiN, the sports betting network, where you get your winners.
Hour 2 of the VSiN College Football Tailgate Show. Thanks again to Mike Sanford, former Yale fullback coach. I'm going to use that more often. Most recently was the OC and interim head coach of Colorado before Coach Prime came to town. And he thinks, watch out, Buffs. Kansas could be a tricky spot. I tend to agree. We did disagree on a couple of spots as he likes Colorado State. I am on Fresno State late night. Maybe that's wishful thinking. I don't know. But we will dive into that a little bit later on here in the program. Come up in 15 minutes. Matt Humans, my partner in crime on the VSiN College Football Betting Podcast, as well as VSiN Primetime, will jump on the show. We'll run through his favorite plays, including a play on Indiana and Ohio State. Bottom of the hour, we go behind the counter. Check in with Chuck Esposito and get the latest from all the action on today's games. Who will they need? I'll be honest, the last couple of weeks, the biggest needs for the house have tended to come home, at least for Chuck at Stations Casino. And then with that loaded up noon Eastern window, we will go no huddle and get through as many games as possible in that noon Eastern window. All right, before we get to what I'm going to deem the be careful spots of the week, I do think there are some interesting possible letdown scenarios this upcoming week. I've targeted 3, and I'll run through those real quickly. I'm very curious about Wisconsin. Now, the betting market disagreed with me as I took Nebraska early on in the week on the money line. And now it's worth noting, Nebraska might have the most comical losing streak in the country. They have not made a bowl since 2016. They have lost 9 straight games with 5 wins. So trying to get to bowl eligibility, they have dropped 9 in a row. You know, nobody beats Nebraska 10 straight times when they've got 5 losses. I like Nebraska here because I don't know where Wisconsin's head's at. I mean, they're doing jump around last Saturday night in Madison, and they're under the belief that they're about to knock off the number 1 team in the country up 13-6. They did not. They lost 16-13, and they also fired Phil Longo, their offensive coordinator. I think this is a weird spot for Wisconsin here, off of that loss to Oregon, headed to Nebraska. Matt Rule and company. Week 2 with Dana Holgorsen. Does Dylan Raiola feel a little bit more comfortable in that offense? I think Nebraska wins. Market disagrees with me. Down to around minus 120 or so on the money line. Another spot, Missouri. The Tigers are headed to Mississippi State today. The old Cowbells. It has not been a solid, let's say, season debut or debut season for Jeff Lebby down there in Stark Vegas. Missouri's last 2 games. Let's just look at those last 2 games because they have been absolutely bonkers. They have one of the craziest finishes to a game against Oklahoma. They get a scoop and score in the final seconds in a game that is 30-23, 53 total points. 34 of them were scored in the fourth quarter. And then last week, in a game as a double-digit dog, when we thought Brady Cook would not play, he was a true game-time decision? Well, he played. And they were on the road at South Carolina. They had the lead with a minute to go. Missouri scores a touchdown with 18 seconds left. South Carolina scores a touchdown with 18 seconds to go, gets the victory. Now you're laying 8.5 on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a big dog, has fared pretty well this year. In this role as a medium dog, hasn't been so great. I think this is a weird spot for Missouri. Lastly, on the letdown spots, look, I was dead wrong on the Kennesaw State situation. And I don't want to go too deep in it because, let's be honest, it's a one-win team in Kennesaw State, but they did fire their coach, Brian Bohannon. Kennesaw State was feisty beyond belief last week against Sam Houston State as a 3-touchdown dog. They go to overtime. They lose said game in overtime. I wonder, there's always that theory